if we don't work on ourselves, the ego grows too powerful. And we're not going to focus on our soul development on a spiritual level. So, in order to successfully graduate Earth and stop the wheel of incarnation, the way to do it is by, hold up, let me think about this. I'm gonna put this. The way to do it is to eliminate the ego. The ego is the reason why we keep coming back. See, the ego and the essence of a person, the essence grows into a fully developed soul. Until then, we're known as intellectual animals because we're only one above the animal kingdom, which is the human kingdom. And you got 108 different, lifetimes, incarnations. You're granted 108 incarnations to get this right. So we are really on repeat. And by the universal law of recurrence, that's the explanation for deja vu. That's why, because you've done it before. The same people, the same situations that you didn't pass last time because of the ego, your desires and wants. It was that strong that the ego incarnated just to fulfill those desires and wants. So the ego can grow that strong and be that strong over your divinity, giving you the chance, not giving you the chance of soul development. So it's like spiritual failure. Planting that seed in the ground, you gave it enough time, it is not growing. See, the divine mission is to grow, for that seed to grow. But if that seed don't grow, it's a bad seed. It got to be recycled at that point. And when you're recycled, you're not destroyed. Energy, you can't destroy or create energy. It just is. But that essence, your essence lives on. But that ego got to be destroyed within that essence. So therefore, that's the hell state, second dimension, lower state. Denser gravity and everything. Just imagine being there. This is the third dimension. Imagine a dimension less than this one. So you'll be suffering punishment. It's like consequences of that, all that karma built up, and that ego caused your soul to become, your essence to become polluted, too polluted. And the ego will that darkness within that ego attached to you will infinitely grow, and it will grow big. So it has to be destroyed. So what happens is you get, recycled. Now you got to go through the 4 levels of the essence. The 4 levels of the essence on the wheel of samsara. The first one is the mineral kingdom. You have to experience being a rock and stuff like that. The second is the plant kingdom. The third is the animal kingdom. So you've been animals. You've experienced all that. The fourth is the human kingdom, and you have to go through it all over again. All over again after the 108th incarnation. If you get it wrong, if you don't develop your soul's development, if you don't reach that point, if you don't make a decision to be more aware, be consciously aware. The awareness of your consciousness is what the goal is. But if you got any type of attachments that holds you back from growing your soul, the whole point is, it's like you're that seed in the ground. You have to grow your soul. You have to develop your consciousness. You have to develop that soul so it can rise up in the ranks and ascend, go to heaven, the higher dimensions. You know what I'm saying? Get to the higher dimensions in your godhood. It's like God expressing itself as itself. The creator, source energy, expressing itself as itself. And back to the law of recurrence, like recurrence. You have to recur. Everything you did, the same people, the same like dramas, all of that stuff, man. Just different people, like, different bodies, different vessels right there. And it's a vicious cycle of repeating dramas and all of this. And so you're repeating the same thing over and over and over. And a large portion of the general population is on that 108th time. So time is running out for them. You know what I mean? If they're not woke now, they're not trying to work on their spirituality, because that's what we're here to do. Rise spiritually. If you're not working on that, that means the ego-driven things is running your life. And ego is attached to everything, like every sinful thing. An ego comes with it, that desire. And that want, from wanting to have it, that desire is going to come with it. You can have an ego of fear. Whatever you fear doing, you shy away from it, hey, you failing. You're supposed to face that. You're supposed to face that. You have a fear of, an ego of lust. sexuality. You know what I'm saying? For some people, they came back, to experience, for that desire, that sexual desire, believe it or not. The ego there's an ego attached to that too. The thing is defeating that ego, eliminating the ego from the equation, and reaching your godhood, working on yourself spiritually. That's what it's about. This whole thing, why we keep going through this over and over and over, Because if you're still here, more than likely, you're probably on that 108th time, If not, you got more time, if not. But I mean, as soon as you die, your spirit guardian going to be there. And then y'all going to get your life review. Don't believe Ghost, that movie Ghost. They were just trying to put that in our heads, like you're just going to be alone and be wandering and shit like that. Nah, man, you're going to get your life review with your spirit guardian. He going to get reviewed. It going to get reviewed too. So y'all get that review together to see how you did. So you just press rewind. You're just going to press rewind when you die. Your life is like a movie for real. The characters and everything, some of the people that you're tied into, that negative karma. Because when you incarnate again, you know what I'm saying, you're here to fulfill, to clear that negative karma up if you can, and you don't let the ego get in the way. That's why so much stuff is against us here, man. They're working against us on a spiritual level. Those chemtrails blocks our connection from getting, it hinders us from getting that energy from source energy, that connection from up high. And it comes down, but if they spraying chemtrails blocking the signal, we're not going to get the signal properly like that, That's strategy right there. There's more to those chemtrails too, other than that. And all things repeat. Nature is part of a repetitious cycle. All things repeat. And even, humans repeat. Everything repeats in nature. Everything, day and night, repeats. The orbit of the stars repeats. And we also do the same thing as we're getting this energetic signatures from the sky, astrology, That's why it's good to know things like your natal chart and numerology. Very important right there. Numerology, because, okay, by law of return, we got 108 times to get it right? 108. Whenever you see a number being repeated in numerology, add the number up. Know the vibrations, but add that number up. That's the main vibration that is letting off 108 times. 8 plus 1 is 9. 9 is numerology. 9 is that finishing number. And 9 is also a great cosmic number. But it represents finishing. You know what I'm saying? The finishing number. 108 times. My people, 108. The number 9. That's some deep shit right there. Straight up. Do I believe this? Yes. Samsara's wheel. The 4 kingdoms that the essence of God goes through and experience itself as itself, and to rise up to those higher dimensions. Yeah, I believe in this. Oh yeah, I do, wholeheartedly. This is a universal law. This ain't just, something I'm pulling out my ass. This is real shit, You on the other end. That's the reason why you hearing this. It's a great thing because now you're conscious of it. The thing is, it's awakening. It's about awakening in consciousness. Because when you awaken consciousness, you're going to want to grow consciously, spiritually. You're going to want to grow. You're working on that soul development. But if you're not conscious and you're just going and how they thinking in the 3D frequency, you're not going to make it with a 3D frequency. You have to rise above that frequency or you're going to be stuck on a 3D. Right now, Earth is ascending. Earth goes through this evolutionary type of process too. Earth is ascending from 3rd to 4th dimension. So it's really time is really up for the ones on the 108th time. I'm not trying to scare you, just trying to prepare you. Time is almost up because they're not going to be able to come back on Earth soon. When Earth makes this transition to the 4th, to the 5th, you're still on a 3D frequency. See, that's the purpose of the evolution and involution. You don't evolve. You go the opposite ways. Therefore, you be recycled to the 2nd dimension, living out that hell state. And they're going to seem like forever. 30 minutes over here is probably years. It's like years over there. So you're going to be... That's the hell. That's the hell state right there. That's not a good state to be in. So if you do ancestor work, you're actually helping some of those ancestors, some of them that's in the 2nd dimension, get out because you clearing that karma. See how important you are? But the law of recurrence, though, That's deja vu right there. That explains deja vu. You've done it before. Same families, stuff like that. It's rearranged though. You switch positions sometimes, for real. You know, you might was the grandfather of your family. You know what I'm saying? But this time you might be the baby of the family. You know, for real. Y'all just switch roles. You switch roles a lot till you get it right. If you defeat the ego, some of these things you won't have to go through, because you defeated the ego already. So it eliminates certain scenes in your movie from happening. So in a nutshell, if you fail the earth mission, is actually the false self winning over the higher self. The higher self, you never grew that essence into a fully developed soul. You never reached for your higher self, the false self, the lower self. Falling prey to the desires, whatever, and wants as the ego, which stays with you. It don't down a timeline with your physical body and your personality do. That keeps going. So if you develop that ego, you have to get rid of it. If not, that's gonna have you recycled, purged, second dimension, and then you start all over from the four kingdoms of evolution. The mineral kingdom, the plant kingdom, the animal kingdom, human kingdom. And most is going to get, according to this law, it even states it in this law of return, most souls will be, or essences will be, recycled by nature. And that's how nature recycles, my people. This is some real shit right here, man, straight up. The universal laws, man, these are laws. These are rules to this life, to this game, to this 3D reality we're in, and this is how to get out. Become self-aware, self-realization, knowing thyself is going to get you out. If not, you're going to stay stuck. If you stay in a three-dimensional mindset, state of mind, you're going to be stuck. Doomed to repeat it for 108 times. But if you don't get it right on that 108th time, my people, recycled. That's spiritual failure right there. The goal is to be spiritual. But in this world, they got us thinking on a 3D level, materialistic, money and greed, greed. That's the ego of greed. And that ego of greed is, it's going to take you out. You know what I'm saying? You have to grow inside. The potential. It's all about getting the potential. Reaching your true potential. Elevating yourself. Your consciousness. By elevating your consciousness and awareness, you develop in your soul. You can defeat the ego. But if not, then you lose. It's your man 5. Peace, y'all.